Hi, this is Claudine from Rolling in Cloth, and this video is about sewing on a button. I want to start out by showing what a well sewn on button looks like. They all sort of look the same from the top. This has two holes, and but if you look underneath the button, you can see that it's not flush with the fabric. There's a thread shank. That's kind of the first indication that a button is sewn on pretty well. If you look on the underside, you should just see sort of a dot. You should just see a few stitches, and there should be no loose threads. Now, this is also actually helpful to know if you're thrift shopping. If you see a garment that doesn't have any tags on it, it's a really easy way to tell if it's a well-made garment by just looking at the buttons. So look for a thread shank and make sure there are no loose threads. So this is sort of my mock shirt. The first thing you want to do before sewing on the button, now you've already sewn on the buttonholes. And so you line up where you're going to sew the buttons to the buttonholes, and you mark where each button needs to go. Mark it on the right side. I just use a regular pencil for this. So let's say that's where I want to sew on my button. Take a needle and thread. Now, it's pretty important that you use two threads and you thread it through the eye with both threads. I think Bunny has actually gone over that threads are directional and you need to sew directionally. So obviously if you loop one thread through the eye, then that thread's going to be going in two different directions, and you'll hit some snags if you do that. So this is one needle threaded with two threads through the eye. Now you just tie a regular knot, like any kind of a knot in your thread, just to stop it from going through. Pick up your fabric, put your needle in a little ways away from where your marking is, and bring it up just to the side of the marking. Pull it through. Now, when you look on the wrong side, you should see no thread. So basically, I brought the thread through the layers instead of bringing it to the back. So when you look on the wrong side, you don't see any thread here. And now you tie your knot. This is the knot that's going to stay. So you catch a couple threads with your needle. You take this thread, wrap it around your needle, and pull it through. And pull it tight. Now, this knot, pull on it so that you get a little bit of a thread here. Cut it close to your fabric, and then pull it through. That's called losing the tail. And that's how you can have a knot without having any loose threads visible on either side. Now take your button and start sewing it on. Get through. And as you're pulling it through, take something, a toothpick, a matchstick. You can use like a crewel needle, but I like to use wood because it moves less easily. It's sort of easier to catch. This will allow you to make the shank. It'll just give you a little extra space to make the shank. Now, you want to do 3 passes, so we've done 1 pass. Do 2 more. Oops. Just going to rethread the needle. Now, after you do 3 passes, you take out your spacer, whatever you were using, and you bring the needle up, but you don't bring it through the button. And don't pull too hard on it. Just pull so that the threads come through, but not any harder than that. Wrap the thread around the shank twice, and now you pull it. Now take 1 stitch underneath, and then you take another stitch, but tie the same knot that you did in the beginning. So grab a couple threads with your needle, wrap this thread around the point, pull it through, and then do the same losing the tail thing that you did at the beginning, where you bring the needle through between the layers. Make sure you can't see it on the wrong side, to some distance away. Pull it taut and snip it. So there you have it. It looks nice from the top. You have your thread shank and no loose threads on the bottom.